Ready? You have the cameras rolling?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's a little bit different. Today is an anniversary of September the 11th. Not only is it a anniversary of, I believe, 2 years ago that I started this podcast channel, but it's also something a whole lot bigger. A 23-year anniversary of the tragic events, the disastrous, the disgusting events that happened on September 11, 2001. So, this event like still hits me hard to this day, right? I was still enlisted in the Marine Corps, but on terminal leave. I was on my terminal leave when this happened. And when it happened, I was so angry. I wanted to go rage out and do some crazy stuff, which I did. I did some stupid things that day and the following days behind it that followed it. And you know, it's and I said this before on my previous podcasts and episodes that you know, there's kids today that are 21 years old, 22, 23, even 24. Hell, almost 30. That probably don't even feel the same way I do about 9/11. They probably don't. Right? But yeah, it still hits me the same. It still hits me the same. And the reason I brought up that I was still enlisted is because I found this out from my father. He passed away in 2015. And he told me that they were calling me. They were calling me back, right? So I was on terminal leave. I didn't live at my mom's house. I stayed there. I didn't have a room at the time when this happened. And, you know, the phone was always ringing. I never answered it because it's not my house. But, you know, my dad, maybe a few months before he passed away, and told me that he had told the Marine Corps, who was calling me back to my unit. He had told me that he told them he hadn't seen me. He had told them that he hadn't seen me in weeks. And that I was hooked on drugs somewhere, which I wasn't. But I asked him, why the hell did he do that, right? And he basically said, because I didn't want you to go back. I already know what you've done over there. I know what you've done for this country. And I saved your life. Now, is that true, right? We don't know how the cards may have felt, but in retrospect, going to Iraq and Afghanistan after that, I've already been to Kuwait, right? A few months after coming out of boot camp in 98, excuse me. But you know, when you think about it in retrospect, for me at least, is yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he did save my life. Maybe he did change the course of my life and how it's turned out, whether that's good or bad. But this day, like I said, this day doesn't hit as many people as hard as it does certain folks, right? And shit, man, had to get that out. Because there's only a few anniversaries in my life that I absolutely like hold near and dear to my heart, and it's my wedding anniversary, 9/11, and my dad's passing. Those 3 dates and his birthday as well. I'll throw that one in there. Those 4 dates for me is I hold them near and dear to my heart. But anyways, just telling you guys I love America, right? I love my country. And I should love my state. That's what we're going to get into today, right? Because, you know, I'm a California complainer. I'm from California and I complain about it. And rightfully so, right? So on Friday, Governor Newsom, he vetoed a bill. Vetoed a bill helping undocumented illegal immigrants purchase houses, which I think was the right thing to do. I don't know why that would even be put on the bill, why that would even be part of a bill. So let's go ahead and read into this. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom has explained why he vetoed a bill that would have made undocumented immigrants eligible to apply to the state's home buying assistance program despite their legal status. So, Assembly Bill 1840, sponsored by Assembly member Dr. Joaquin Arambla, a Fresno Democrat, typical Democrat, right? Let them all in. Would have barred the state from stopping undocumented residents of the Golden State from tapping into its existing loan program, California Dream for All, as long as they met its requirements. The program offers no interest loans of up to $150,000 to cover down payments. What? That's a crazy huge amount, $150,000. But when you're talking about, you know, you got to put 20% down in the crazy $1 million prices of a California home, you know, 150 isn't that much. Rambla previously told Newsweek in a written statement that the bill simply clarified the language on the existing program to make it clear that undocumented immigrants can apply, once again, if they meet all the criteria. Why are we even doing this? Why are we even doing this for undocumented immigrants? Why is this even an option? And here's my way of thinking, right? If you had a friend, not even a friend, right? A friend of a friend. A friend of a friend that came from out of state and they didn't have any money and they were like, hey man, can I borrow $100? $100. And you can't really afford it, but you're just like, I really don't feel comfortable doing this, man. I mean, what's gonna guarantee me that you're gonna pay me back? More or less, you're gonna be here in this state to pay me back. How am I gonna know you're not gonna go back to Utah and leave me unpaid? Well, you don't know that. You won't know that, but I promise I'll do it. Right? You give him the $100, never see him again. Never see him again. That's how I equate to this, right? But now you're talking about hundreds of thousands and possibly $1 million in home loans. And if they're undocumented, what responsibility do they have? All right? They're not legally bound to anything. They could head back home. Shit, I realized I got in a position that I didn't want to get in, and now I'm leaving. I'm going back to Mexico. I'm going back to Canada. I'm going back to India. I'm going back to Venezuela because I can't afford it. Why would, to me, that would even screw over banks. That would piss banks off, right? And then, if that happened, banks are going to make it even more tough for the people that are struggling to own a house. They're going to make it more strict because they don't want to get screwed over and they don't want to lose any more money. That's how I see it. See, the bill was approved in late August by the California Assembly and the Senate, where Democrats have super majorities, obviously. So They're taking over there. But Newsom killed the bill when it reached his desk on Friday. In his veto message, the Democratic governor explained that there's simply not enough funds to cover a bigger pool of applicants. I don't even think there's enough funds to cover the folks that live here right now. All right. So, let's see. California suffers from rampant crime, they should call it unhoused. This Newsweek. They're from the UK, I believe. Failing public education. Yes, we do. Yes, we are. We are failing in our public education systems. And a massive budget deficit. But instead of tackling those issues, California Democrats are passing no, they didn't pass it. They're trying to sneak that in. California Democrats are passing extreme housing policies that are a complete slap in the face to the 86% of Californians who can't afford to purchase a home in the state. To me, that's a fact. 86% of Californians who can't afford it. Not saying they don't want to afford it, saying that they can't. There's 86% of Californians who can't afford a house. So what does that mean? I mean, if you look at, if they can't afford a house, they start losing their jobs, things happen. You can become homeless, right? If you can't pay your bills, you can't pay your car note because you don't have a job, or something happens, you could be homeless, right? So here's what I did find, that Governor Newsom back in July orders state agencies to address encampments in their communities with urgency and dignity. What does that mean? He orders state agencies. What are agencies? So it could be counties, mayors. What does that mean? To address their encampments in their communities with urgency and dignity. Governor Newsom today issued an executive order directing state agencies to urgently direct homeless encampments while okay. The governor's order, which follows the Supreme Court's decision in Grants Pass, also urges local governments to use the substantial funding provided. Remember that. Substantial funding provided by the state to take similar action. So, building on California's ongoing work and unprecedented investments to address the decades-long issues of homelessness, Gavin Newsom issued an executive order today ordering state agencies to adopt clear policies that urgently address homelessness encampments while respecting the dignity of well-being of all Californians. What does that even mean? That's a word salad right there. Let's see what he has to say here. All right.
I don't think there's anything more urgent and more frustrating than addressing the issue of encampments in the state of California. Over the course of the last number of years, the state has stepped up, where in the past we provided no support, no resources to cities and counties to clean up encampments.
Wait, what did he say? Let's see.
State of California. Over the course of the last number of years.
Over the course of the last number of years, he's been in there since 2019. So we're at 5 years, right? Over the last number of years. 5's a number. Okay.
The state has stepped up, where in the past we provided no support, no resources to.
So has he been doing this for 5 years? Or is he just saying now they're stepping up now? Okay. Let's continue to let this dude play.
Cities and counties to clean up encampments like this. Today, we've invested now over $1 billion in encampment resolution grants. Not only clean up sites.
Man, $1 billion. I want to see how many people this is going to help. This is going to be crazy, right?
Like this, but to address the underlying issue in the first place. One of the big issues, though, that has been an impediment was the courts. In the past, the courts have denied the ability for local government, including the.
It's the courts? Is it the courts? Or is it the mismanagement of California funds? Is it the courts? Somebody please answer down in the comments. It's the courts, right? Not the mismanagement of funds of the governor of California.
state to clean up many of these encampments. Today, I announced an executive order to move the process forward. We're done. It's time to move with urgency at the local level to clean up these sites, to focus on public health and focus on public safety. There are no longer any excuses.
Okay. Okay. There's no longer any excuses. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to save this video. I'm going to hold you to that. So when San Francisco, when they just burned down to the ground with all the homelessness and all the crime, no more excuses, man. No more excuses. You said it here, right? Unless you're lying. You're either lying or you're stupid. Now you pick. So $1 billion here. I want to see how many folks this is actually going to help. It's actually tens of billions of dollars, but let's keep it going.
$1 billion this state has invested to support communities to clean up these encampments. We have now no excuse with the Supreme Court decision. This executive order is about...
He doubled down on the no excuse. Y'all caught that, right? He doubled down. There's no excuse.
Pushing that paradigm further and getting a sense of urgency that's required of local government to do their job.
Okay. Okay. There it is, buddy. So, let's look at the new funding. This is coming from Governor Newsom's actual gov.ca.gov. This is the official page for Governor Newsom. So the new funding to help more than 2,600 Californians move from encampments into housing. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Thanks, Gavin. So what you need to know, California is awarding more than $81 million to fund 12 projects to move unhoused Californians from encampments into housing. The Newsom administration has committed more than $30 billion to address housing and homelessness since taking office, with $3.5 billion for homelessness in the 2023 state budget alone. Where the fuck has that money gone? To help 2,600 Californians? So this all happened. He used $3.5 billion for homelessness in 2023, right? So let's see. The funding provide the $81 million in encampment refund. The funding will provide services to 2,693 persons experiencing. Man, 81 billion. 81 billion. When this happened, he actually gave my city, right, 17 million. And when we counted, there was when they did a count here, I think it was 63 folks. 17 million for 63 accounted for homeless folks in my small town. 17 million. Is that a wise way of spending money? Is it? 81 million in new resources to provide assistance to 2,700 unhoused people living in encampments. Okay. Let's look at some real numbers here. Okay. And because this is all based off of 2023, right? 2024 is not over yet. So 30 billion right here, 30 billion is going to address 2,600. Okay, I'll give them credit. 2,700 folks experiencing homelessness. Now let's look at the end number in 2023 of homeless people in California, not America, not the United States. Let's look at it from a California perspective. We're at 181,400 people in California. And how many billion are we spending to help 2,700 people out? 181? Let's take a look here. Look, in San Jose, my old hometown, Santa Clara County, 10,000 people alone. 10,000 alone. Where are these billions of dollars of our hard-earned tax money, taxpayer dollars, where is it going? I've asked this question many times before. Where is it going? 10,000. That's a small part of the Bay Area. Look at Los Angeles. 65,000 people experiencing homelessness. But we're going, what? 81 million. And the Newsom administration has committed to 30 billion. So look, break it down. Right? Break it down. 81 million to help 2,700. So let's see. 80 million. 30 billion. It doesn't seem like we're going to tackle the issue. I'm sorry. I've never been good at math, but I'm pretty sure that's not a good deal. Not a good deal. But no more excuses, right? He doubled down. No more excuses. And maybe that's why he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this undocumented illegal immigrant buying houses in my state bill. Because we can't afford it. I mean, we can't afford it as taxpayers. I don't want to afford it. I don't want to afford it. So, man, I cannot wait to move out of this state. Can't wait to move out of this state. Why do you think he's doing this? Right? I'll ask the Californians out there. I know folks across the country already know this, right? But why is he doing this, right? We obviously know he's going to make a run for president. He's going to make a run for president in the next 4 years. So how do you do that, man? You start trying not to be super far left by denying illegals housing here. You start trying to clean up the homeless by throwing billions at it and only helping tens of thousands possibly. You know, he's trying to clean up his act. I get it. I understand it. It ain't going to make me vote for him. Past history, it repeats itself, man. So, that's all I have for this episode, man. Don't move to California if you're ever considering about it. I'm going to stay here as long as I can. I probably got a couple more years and I'm out. You know, they can't hold me down. So, anyways, that's all I got. See y'all in the next one. Peace, love, and take care of each other.
Ready? You have the cameras rolling?